Last summer, motorsport in New Zealand was back, a reunion of the best that the country had to offer, with an eye on the future and the next generation of talent. Not just in the driver's seat though, in the pit lane, on the circuit, in the grandstands and on your screens. We travelled all over Aotearoa and brought together not only famous faces, but some beautiful cars and visited some sensational spots. Heroes remain just that, heroes forever. And doesn't this country love to celebrate them? They turned out too to celebrate our current icon on the world stage.
And as we embark on a new adventure, we continue our search to find New Zealand's next world champion, all part of our mission to be the world's best development series. And what a summer we have in store for you. A range of awesome venues and categories, everything from the exotic to the race on Sunday, buy on Monday. There are F1 style open wheelers where the stars of tomorrow will aim to make a name for themselves. A name hopefully big enough to stand alongside those who've done it on these shores before. Famous names like McLaren, Brabham, Stewart, even Van Gisbergen and Norris. This is the start of another season of the Repco Next Gen NZ Championship. Come along for the ride. Let's go racing.
We have made quite the start to summer. It started superbly in the mighty Waikato, welcoming 1.4 million people annually to one of New Zealand's fastest growing regions. It is where world-class motorsport meets world-class adventure, nature, culture, cuisine and wellness. Good morning everybody. What a beautiful day we have in store for you. Day 2 of the Alliance Services Hampton Downs GT International, all as a part of the opening round. A huge summer coming your way here for the Repco Next Gen NZ Championship. Greg Rust and Andrew Waite with you this morning. We are headed for highs in the low 20s with winds of only 6 kilometres an hour coming from the north this afternoon. Andrew, yesterday was awesome. We've got the perfect conditions today. Good morning, kia ora and welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's great to be here as always, and what a start to the Repco New Zealand Next Gen Championship. It's just been fantastic to see the way yesterday unfolded with the 86 Championship and the GT World Challenge as well. There was a lot of drama in that, the GT4s too. It's really kicked off what's going to be a fantastic season. Now,
we have a great, as is tradition, battle between the Aussies and the Kiwis unfolding here. We have welcomed for the final round of the Shannon Speed Series both GT4 and GT3 from Australia. Their final races today will decide some of the titles. We were treated to epic racing there. In fact, the battle between the Aussies and Kiwis even extends to the GT Lounge, where they parked the Vegemite by the Marmite. The racing itself was awesome. Great start in qualifying. Brad Schumacher and Brock Feeney were awesome, but the Aston Martin got the jump in a little bit of tricky conditions. We had some sprinkles of rain happening. Liam Talbot made the most of it, didn't he, against Brad Schumacher?
Yeah, that was massive from Liam Talbot at the start of that race, pulling over a 10-second lead on second place, and then when Brock Feeney jumped in the car, it was going to be very hard for him to close that gap down on Josh Hunt, but he managed to do it, and the way he did it was incredible, because Brock Feeney also had a 5-second success penalty as well, so that made things really, really difficult, and there were just battles all through the field. Damon Leach battling away. That was a Kiwi triple, shall we say, the three Kiwis going hard at it, Jackson Evans making his way through, and then for the rest of the race between these guys, it just went on. And Brock Feeney said after the race, he said it was then or it was never, getting that move done to take the lead of the race and ultimately the win.
The drive by Brock Feeney yesterday was absolutely world class. We know that his focus might be supercars and winning titles there and so on, but the way he gradually wore down the Aston Martin was unbelievable. We have a scenario going into the final race today for GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS, where there is less than 20 points in the fight between the Ferrari and the Audi. So great to see the interlopers in there. Sam Fillmore was mighty for International Motorsport. You mentioned Damon Leach there before as well. We've got Josh Buchan, a former TCR champion in a Ferrari. All of that stuff is going to bubble to the surface again today and make it exciting, isn't it?
It really is. And Josh Buchan as well, doing a fantastic job. He was super, super quick yesterday. But I tell you what, it's going to boil down to this last race. We've got Brad Schumacher and Brock Feeney. They're off the pole with Jackson Evans a little bit further behind with starting on grid 3. So, you know, that's another 2 points they got in qualifying to get them to where they are. So it's not over, this championship.
No, absolutely. One of our great partners as far as the Repco Next Gen NZ Championship is concerned is Toyota New Zealand, and they have a huge summer coming up. We'll tell you a bit about some news that broke here yesterday in a moment, but they've had the opening race of the season for the GR86 Championship. The depth, the quality in this field, Andrew, it is going to be super close all summer long, isn't it?
Yes, it is indeed. And
couple
there were
of penalties, though, yesterday.
dramas right off the start. We saw a couple of jump starts for both Hugo Allen and Chris White, and it was only marginal for Chris White. Hugo Allen knew he'd done the jump start. He thought he got away with it, but not quite. But the battles raged on, and in the end, they both ended up with a penalty. But you can see there a few battles going on. It was on. It was, you know, fresh season, a lot of clean racing, which is fantastic to see as well. But it was Chris White who took the win over the line, but later to be given a 5-second penalty for a jump start. So that completely shaked the order up.
That basically means that in Bridgestone GR86, the opening race of the season, that Arthur Braun has taken the first win of the year once those penalties kicked in. The Mad Butcher entry that you can see there is the defending champion in Hugo Allen. He didn't actually know as the race was unfolding that he'd been hit with a penalty. He didn't realise until the conclusion of the race. So White Jr. crossed the line, as Andrew said there, first to greet the checkered flag, but upon review in Motorsport New Zealand race control, it was literally hundredths of a second. That was what was deemed to be the breach of the start there. Yeah,
well, they knew with Hugo Allen, they knew that it was a jump start, but it was that tight with Chris White. They put it under investigation and they left it till the end of the race, and it was so close. They had to go through the reviews over and over, and they wouldn't have called it with Ron Shepherd being in DSO and everyone and all the technology they've got to see about these jump starts. They wouldn't have called it unless it happened. So it must have been tight, but you know, that's a real blow for them in their championship. But they are the two championship protagonists. We know they're going to be there at the end. So for both of them to be penalised, they're sort of stuck together at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see how that'll unfold.
7 classes here for the opening round of Repco Next Gen NZ Championship. We have everything from central muscle cars to TA2, great field of TA2 machines. Dummy grid is already forming up for Bridgestone GR86, the second of 3 races this weekend. We are about to get the action underway. We're with you today through until 5:45 New Zealand time. If you're waking up in Australia or indeed anywhere around the world, welcome to the coverage. It's great to have you with us. We are about to launch into this. Let's have a fantastic day of racing, headlined this morning by Bridgestone GR86.
Welcome everyone to the live coverage here, round 1 of Repco Next Gen New Zealand Championship. We're here for a Sunday morning, the Alliance Services Hampton Downs GT International. As we can see there, the Bridgestone GR86s lined up there on the Cream Insurance's starting grid. All 15 of those cars as we're waiting for them to be released into the Shannon's pit lane. We can see there the first of the cars there, Cooper Barnes getting released. And we'll be underway for race 2 this morning here shortly. Rusty, joining me back in the commentary box.
Ronan, we should have welcomed you at the top of the coverage. Good morning, kia ora. And to Richard Crail, who'll be with us across the day too. We had a massive Saturday here, Sunday even bigger for you. Let's have a look for you at GR86 and a couple of the key things to keep in mind about this class in its 13th season.
Yeah, so one make, one model championship, the Toyota GR86. We've obviously the racing format, we've got 3 races this weekend, including reverse top 10 grid race this morning in race 2. So you'll see the top 10, the guy that finished 10th yesterday's race, he'll start off the pole this morning and obviously so on from there. So very exciting format, and this is sure to bring some action going into the race this morning, and I can't wait for this one.
Some very talented teenagers in this field, so the standout rookies of the year will be one of the focuses of our conversation. Last year it was Chris White Jr. And we have those that have been successful, like Lucas McGill, winner of the Tony Quinn Foundation Shootout just in September, a $54,000 support package. Also won the Wolfbrook Scholarship too. He's been racing karts for 4 years, 17 years of age. This weekend for Lucas McGill, it is his car racing debut. Really cool.
Yeah, and that's no mean feat, is it, Rusty? That's a huge deal as we now look at the Cream Insurance Alliance Service at GT International starting grid. So Cooper Barnes off the pole, Lee Zaltwanger there, the Trophy Series winner from this year, off the P2. AJ Giddy there for Mackenzie Motorsport off P3. Zach Blinko in 4th. We look further down the field. The race winner who ended up getting a penalty yesterday, Chris White Jr., he's off P7 with the reigning champion Hugo Allen off P8. And the field rounded out by Justin Allen for Syndicate Motorsport, Mac Templeton, and Lucas McGill, our Tony Quinn Foundation and Wolfbrook Scholarship winner.
So this is a little in the reversal of the upper part of the grid, if you will. This is a traditional thing that we've had in Bridgestone GR86, and what it means is the likes of those who were quick yesterday, like Hugo Allen, have got to fight their way through traffic. Now, talking with Hugo this morning here when we arrived at Hampton Downs, he was pretty miffed at himself. He just didn't feel like all the key aspects of the race, not just the jump start, I should point out, that he didn't bolt it all together. He said there was hardly a thing that I was pleased with myself about in the debrief of the race. So he's had a good think about it over the night. He knows how to stitch a championship together. There he is in the Mad Butcher entry right there. He'll be worth watching fighting through the field here today.
Yeah, I don't think Hugo's car actually looked too bad, though.
I think he's being hard on himself,
yeah,
you're right.
He was right there with those guys. Maybe he didn't quite have the outright speed, but at the end of the race, himself and Arthur Braun came back to Chris White Jr. So he clearly had the speed, and jump starts are one of those things you can't help. Maybe because both the front row jumped the start, he was maybe looking across at his competitor and saw him go and thought, oh, I need to go, and it led to them both ending up jumping it. So not too sure what happened there, but all 3 of those top 3 guys really were almost streaks ahead of everybody else. They had a pretty sizable gap there at the end, and yeah, I'm sure they're going to be looking to try and do the same again today.
The Boxer engines in the Colt car that is the GR86, the latest generation car. We welcomed the new gen car last year for the championship. Been some learnings for all of the competitors in that. As we say, some bright young stars about to do battle here. Watch for White Jr. He was so disappointed with that really minor breach. They deemed it was hundredths of a second. He'll be fast today. Away we go, race 2 of the season for Bridgestone GR86. And look at in the middle here, trying to thread the eye of the needle through the right-hander for the first time. 3 wide if you don't mind. Not too much in the way of paint swapping there, that's nice.
And that was Josh Bethune slicing down the middle of Zach Blinko and AJ Giddy. He got a brilliant start, but it's not quite looking like it's going to pay off. He's now slotted back in behind Blinko, but they're going to go 3 wide again, or just about going down towards turn 2. Hugo Allen's in the mix there as well. Arthur Braun and Chris White Jr. as well. The 3 fast guys from yesterday, as we see the rest of the field. A little bit of dust getting kicked up going into turn 3.
I think Braun was nearly out rally driving in the grass there. It was very likely to end up a 4-way battle. So watch for those 2 pack and save machines. They're like the sharks coming through the field, the pair of them. That success from yesterday for Braun as the race winner means that he's at the tail of the inversion of the group this morning.
And Lee Zaltwanger is doing a great job there in second place as well, and behind Cooper Barnes, the Toyota 86 trophy winner from this year. As we see there, Zach Blinko in 3rd. AJ Gideon 4th and Josh Bethune 5th. And we see the remainder of the pack there. Cormac Murphy, Cam Hill, Simon Hunter and Justin Allen having a great fight there. Mac Templeton not too far behind, and our TQF winner, Lucas McGill, there in 15th.
Hoping that Sunday is a nicer day for the Syndicate Motorsport crew for the Napa entry there of Justin Allen, and for Cormac, who you mentioned, your brother there a moment ago. They have been on the back foot a little bit this weekend, but in reviewing things last night, I think they felt like they had pretty reasonable race cars. So it's just the qualifying that perhaps needs to be tuned up. So let's see how they go in the races today. Looking at yesterday's runners, Braun is currently at 6th. It's Cooper Barnes leading the way.
Yeah, for sure, Rusty. As we see there, Cooper Barnes comes across the line to lead that first lap. Lee Zelltwanger there in 2nd, Zach Blinko 3rd, AJ Giddy there in 4th, and Josh Bethune in 5th. Arthur Braun's done a great job to get onto the back of Bethune already, and he's actually sort of left Chris White Jr. and Hugo Allen behind a little bit. So plenty of pace and fury in that 222 McKenzie Motorsport run, GR86. As we go down the back straight, AJ Giddy and Josh Bethune having a braking competition, the last of the late breakers. Run through turn 2 cleanly. He leaves Bethune enough room going down towards turn 3, and now Braun's trying to block from, or defend from, Chris White Jr. Hugo Allen's not too far behind. He's just biding his time. They've got 10 laps to try and sort this one out. To look further back, Harry Townsend's actually closing in on Hugo Allen as well. Cormac Murphy's got a bit of space to himself there in the 81 Syndicate Motorsport car, and Simon Hunter's leading the next pack of angry little GR86s.
Impressed here with the job by AJ Giddy. He is not being intimidated in what is fast becoming a group of 6. That leading trio have kind of bolted away. Blinko on the very back of Lee Zelltwanger there, and Lee, of course, is the 86 Trophy Series champion. We should make that point that we've had over a decade of 86 competition in this country. We've got some great cars that are around both the North and South Island. So that means we have a second tier, if you like. So he's come through that pathway in the older gen car and now racing here, doing a really nice job too.
Yeah, absolutely. And see there, Josh Bethune going around, trying to go around the outside of AJ Giddy. So AJ Giddy's he's becoming a little bit of a cork in the bottle there. He was defending pretty hard down towards the first hip, and he's doing a great job though. He's holding his ground and not letting Josh Bethune bother him too much. But we see them coming across the line to complete another lap. He's going on the defensive again, and Bethune's going to try drive around the outside of him. Josh Bethune, he's got plenty of experience racing all different kinds of cars and go-karts, and he's multi-New Zealand champ, or North Island champion in go-karts, as we see him coming down the back straight there, trying to get past AJ Giddy.
Arthur Braun's been able to pull clear of that next battle of Chris White Jr. and Hugo Allen. Looks like White Jr. is under pressure there from Allen, so they're fighting away out wide, and that hurts him just a little bit. So Giddy's doing, you know, in the face of that battle, the teenager really handling this well.
It's impressive because he's able to drive the car really defensively and not lose a lot of time. Josh Bethune's only just sort of starting to make a bit of inroads. He's got a good run on him out of turn 4 here. He's got AJ running a bit wide. AJ's now had to go very narrow, and Bethune's going to try and cross him going up over the double B corner. Braun up the inside.
Nice.
What a dive, and he's fended him off the road.
And that's let White Jr. through. This is the thing with both Allen and White Jr., just in flagging that before that they were in their own battle. It's really important with these Sunday morning races that you avoid the skirmishes and come through. You actually don't want to lose too much in the way of ground like that. So we need to see where Arthur Braun has popped back out after that battle, how much it's hurt him more going on here.
That was Justin Allen and Simon Hunter going off the road, and as we see there, Cormac Murphy's going up the inside of Josh Bethune and Arthur Braun, so he's managed to capitalise on that. And unfortunately, I think that, again, we sort of talked about it a little bit in some of the classes. You say, young blokes, cold tyres. He's just gone up the inside. It was a really ambitious move, and obviously a good bit of racecraft from Arthur Braun. He just didn't quite finish it off as well as he would have liked, and unfortunately ran Bethune and himself wide. And now he's having a block from Bethune, so Josh Bethune's not going to be too happy about that, I'd say. He gave him the room and then ended up getting escorted off the road, so I'm sure they'll have something to say about that. But as we go down the back straight now for another lap, all 15 of these cars from the 6th drone cam, what a shot. Cooper Barnes still leading. Lee Zelltwanger there getting put under pressure by the number 90 of Zach Blinko.
Staying out of trouble, making good choices on where you place your car. That's worked well for Harry Townsend and Cormac Murphy as all of that stuff unfolded. Townsend's found his way to 7th in the Bayswater GR86, and Cormac Murphy just chipping away, is up into 8th now. Good job. Let's have a look at this here. Dive bombs down the inside, carries momentum. They make contact. And how's that going to be viewed by Motorsport New Zealand Race Control?
It actually looked like their wheels interlocked, so as they were trying to steer, the steering wheel got ripped out of Arthur Braun's hands as the wheels collided, but I'm not too sure. I think that's going to be one for Rowan Shepherd to make the call on. Obviously, Bethune gave him the room and then got escorted off the road, so yeah, he's certainly not going to be too happy about that one, I think, and I'm sure Rowan Shepherd will be looking into that. And I think, looking back now into it, I think Hugo Allen was actually coming under a lot of pressure from Harry Townsend, who has actually managed to pass the reigning champion, Hugo Allen. So great job from Harry Townsend. He's driving brilliantly. And obviously Chris White Jr., Harry Townsend, Hugo Allen, the likes, Cormac Murphy, they all took advantage of that melee between Josh Bethune and Arthur Braun.
The drone cam showed both Townsend and Murphy. They just stayed absolutely mashed to the floor on the throttle. While the other two were recovering, they made the ground around the outside. Nice job. Back we go to the front of the field. So the 186 is Cooper Barnes. Now, Seltwanger is under pressure here, and that'll be for position. Up into 2nd goes Zach Blinko. Nice piece of driving. Gets it done at turn 1.
Very clean, very good pass there from Zach Blinko. We saw a lot of speed from him last summer here at the Hampton Downs International Circuit. He's obviously got the car dialed in here. He's driving it beautifully. So we see him there making that pass for 2nd, nice and clean. We see they're looking further back, actually. Josh Bethune now, he's under pressure from Arthur Braun. Again, these two, they were going at it over the last couple of laps. Now they're going at it again, and it's actually managed to give Cormac Murphy a little bit of reprieve. As it looks like there's actually a little bit of flame coming out of the back of the 222 car. Maybe some of that bodywork damage is caught on the exhaust.
2.4-litre boxer engines, around 228 horsepower from these cars. Very evenly matched. Lots of control measures in place to give young racers, often out of karts and perhaps even Formula Ford and so on, the chance to learn their skills. And some very good teams in New Zealand Motorsport, all represented in the paddock here. So mid-track, the Bayswater entry of Harry Townsend, currently in 6th place, and this is an angry pack behind him here now.
Yeah, and we were sort of talking about that cork in the bottle a little bit with AJ Giddy a little bit, but he's managed to get away, and now Harry Townsend's running the defensive line slightly, and he's got an angry pack of about 6 or 7 cars in behind. But Harry, in that beautiful number 73 Bayswater car, he's been in this class for a couple of seasons now. He's got heaps of experience, and he knows exactly what to do in these positions. He's doing a great job defending the reigning champion, Hugo Allen.
Just need to keep a watching brief on Chris White Jr., currently in 5th place. He has got good pace at the moment and closing in on AJ Giddy. So that's a nice piece of driving ahead of this pack that you're watching on screen here at the moment. Given the dramas with the penalty yesterday, he stayed out of trouble in that other pack and save entry, and he stands to make good points in the championship here. Barnes leading the way, was at Mount Panorama Bathurst in the Australian Series only a few weeks ago. Great to have him here in New Zealand doing this. Was in the top 5 at Bathurst, and Blinko now still holding down that 2nd place. Here we go, Mad Butcher entry, has a little look, but Allen can't quite get by there.
And Cormac Murphy's looking to capitalise on this one. He's sitting there in 8th. The big improvement on yesterday for Syndicate Motorsport, as we see Hugo Allen's placing that car all over the road, trying to get in Harry Townsend's mirrors, force him into a mistake to try and get past the Mad Butcher car. You see there coming around turn 4, Murphy with that slightly wider line. He's now got Josh Bethune in behind him, one of the early race protagonists, coming up over the double B corner. And the gap between sort of 5th and 6th place has grown quite significantly. Mac Templeton just went down the inside of Arthur Braun. Great little pass there down at the first hairpin. Good little bit of racecraft from Mac Templeton. So we're starting to see him show his true colours today after a few little struggles yesterday. But Harry Townsend still in the lead of this pack. He's actually managed to open the gap a little bit to Hugo Allen.
So just watching, it's a 1 second lead that Barnes enjoys at the moment. We're past half race distance in the second one of the weekend for Bridgestone GR86, and we have a big race coming your way this afternoon to wrap things up for round one for them as well. The pole positions were split for races 1 and 3 between Arthur Braun and Chris White Jr. Very close qualifying session. Cormac Murphy will be energised by this. They didn't have a great car for qualifying. They had some issues with the battery in that car, and I think they felt like they were probably a little on the heavy side as far as fuel load was concerned, and that meant that they were carrying unnecessary extra weight. But in race trim, he's doing a good job here at the moment and absolutely holding his own. He's on the defensive here at the moment from a pretty racy Josh Bethune, but he's absolutely got Hugo Allen in his sights here. Good stuff. Yeah, he didn't quite get the best run out of turn one there, and he had to move across the track. So did Mac Templeton, who's got a group of about 5 or 6 cars behind him. He had to move across the circuit as well to try and defend going down to turn 2, which is well within your racing rights. You can do that. And they both did a great job of managing to keep the rest of the pack at bay. But we come through turn 4 here on lap 7 of this race 2 this morning for the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. Justin Allen there, he's down in 14th place, so maybe haven't quite solved the struggles with that car this weekend. He was obviously very fast last season, won some races and was really challenging for the championship there. Simon Hunter's not too far ahead of him. And the number 42, as is where his car. Going down towards the hairpin now, the Porsche dipper. Lee Zaltwang is still doing a great job there on his debut weekend in this championship to potentially come away with the podium. And Harry Townsend now down the inside of Hugo Allen. Josh Bethune's managed to also clear Cormac Murphy as well, so he's now trying to get himself back in the top 5. Townsend has just wrapped up studies at university in Wellington, where he was doing marketing and design, so obviously the family have quite a big footprint as far as car dealerships and automotive are concerned in the Hawke's Bay region, but he felt a little bit underdone in preparation for the championship. This is rock solid at the moment as he fights the reigning champion in Hugo Allen. Barnes leading the way and comfortably, but Zach Blinko starting to maybe just by a 10th or 2 look a little quicker down the inside, having a look, showing the nose. Townsend trying to make it difficult for him. Allen will get the job done. That should set him up for the next one. What a great bit of racing there as well. Harry squeezed him right up as much as he could to the limit, but they gave each other room. There wasn't too much rubbing, and Hugo Allen's going to clear Harry Townsend now, but what a great bit of racecraft between them both. A lot of respect shown, and they both managed to come through turn 1 without a scratch. What this underscores is something you spoke about yesterday in the coverage, and that is the depth of talent in this field. It has not been easy for Arthur Braun and for Josh Bethune after that incident before to claw their way back through the field. They're not getting by Cormac Murphy and some of the others easily, are they? No, exactly right. And this is the beauty of spec class racing, where everyone's got even equipment, the exact same equipment. Is you can't just easily pass someone. You have to work for it. You have to work really hard, make sure your racecraft's top notch and that you're consistent and fast and not making mistakes. And as we saw, Arthur Braun and obviously Josh Bethune ended up in that little incident together and off the road. That cost them a heap of positions that, now they've, mostly not been able to get back, and that's purely because the rest of the field are operating at such a high level. The great illustration of what you've just spoken about, and it's unfortunately taken him a little while to get there, was the racecraft from Hugo Allen at 1 on Harry Townsend. Ultimately got it done, but it's taken a while for him to clear that Bayswater car, and he now finds himself in 6th place. So Barnes leading the way. Only a couple of laps left in this one. He's got nearly a second in the pocket over Zach Blinko. Lee Zellweger, that's a terrific story when you consider that he's come through from the previous generation machines, the Trophy Series, engineered by Todd Bickerton in the car that won the championship last year. That's a really good performance here. Race 2 of the championship for 2025-26. Absolutely, very impressive, and he's definitely making a statement out there is Lee Zaltwang to try and take a podium on his debut in this championship. And obviously all these guys all raced in this series last year that we've only got sort of basically one rookie. Everyone else is returning, or 2 rookies, so everyone else is returning. So he's doing a great job to try and stay in that podium position. And as you were sort of talking about before, Rusty, you look at someone like Chris White. So Chris White Jr., he on circuit won the race yesterday. Obviously ended up with a penalty for that jump start, but he was comfortably in front, and now he's sitting in 5th, and he can't make inroads on these guys, because when you get in behind some of these cars and you don't have that clear air, it's very hard to be able to try and figure out a way to get past. Arthur Braun knocking on the door of the top 10. Our race 1 winner has been shuffled back after the elbows out action before, and he's not been able to clear Mac Templeton. It's happening even further back here between the likes of Justin Allen, McGill and co. So it's even at the very tail of this 15-car field, it's game on, isn't it? And Lucas McGill's getting his teeth stuck in here to Simon Hunter and Justin Allen, the
two masters in this field, Justin Allen and Simon Hunter. They've been around a while, both of them in motorsport, and Lucas McGill, he's doing a great job, the youngster, Tony Quinn Foundation Scholarship winner and the Wolfbrook Scholarship winner, running for James Marshall Motorsport. First car races this weekend, and he's doing a brilliant job to stay with those guys.
You talked about Justin Allen as like a master then. He wears the hat like a cool kid, mate. He won't like the thought of that in the NAFA entry. Here we go.
Well, he's a master driver. He's a master of class. He's a race winner and championship contender the last couple of years. He's been very, very fast. I'm sure we'll see Justin back up the front very soon.
That's an important one that you've just watched there between Blinko and Barnes. That is for the race lead. We cut back to that and saw a crucial move on the final lap. Blinko's done a nice job here of just working away at it, hasn't he? We had an almost a second lead. So what has happened here? He's clawed down the advantage. Big dive under brakes, waits until the start of the final lap and gets it done.
What a pass, and he sold the dummy a little bit. He ran wide and then sort of got Cooper Barnes across the track to the outside, and then at the last second as they went under brakes, he then moved across and took the race lead. So beautiful pass from Zach Blinko, and he's kept it clean, nice and clean and steady this whole race, and managed to take the race lead off Cooper Barnes going on to the final lap. So he's now running a little bit defensive, but he's got the speed clearly in that number 90 car that he could chase down Cooper Barnes and take the lead.
AJ Giddy is eyeing up third place here as well in the Opie contracting entry. Just keep a little watch on that fight between he and Zeltwanger. Now, has Blinko made that move a fraction too early? What has Barnes got in response here? We're about to come into the final turn. That long sweeping right hander. Set yourself up for the run to the line here. Is he close enough? Blinko seems to have it covered. They've got the checkered flag waiting and ready. Can Giddy find a way past Zeltwanger? Climb the hill here at Hampton Downs. First of the races on a big day of coverage here on Sunday morning. Blinko's going to do it. Congratulations. Braun won yesterday. Race 2 taken out by Blinko on Sunday morning. And Barnes, who basically led all of it, was pounced on at the start of the final lap.
Yeah, he got him there, and he won't be too happy about that, I'm sure, Cooper Barnes. He probably thought he had that race win almost in the bag because he was leading so comfortably for so long. But credit to Zach Blinko, he drove brilliantly and managed to get down the inside on the last lap. And at the end of the day, Rusty, of all the laps in any race that you want to lead, it's the last one. So he did a great job as we now take a look at the results.
Was it a waiting game? Because if it was executed superbly by Zach Blinko. Gets the jump on Barnes going into the first corner at the start of the final lap. Barnes had led the entire way. Great job by Lee Zeltwanger, having stepped up from the trophy class as the Trophy Series champion. That's a nice impression he's making. We look a little bit further back outside the top 10. Cam Hill there in 12th. Probably the story, though, is Arthur Braun, yesterday's winner in 10th. Cormac Murphy in 9th place. Let's have a look at highlights for you of the second race of the weekend for Bridgestone GR86. Everyone a little bit nervous about their starts, I think, on Sunday morning after race control moved on a couple of them yesterday. Barnes would lead them into turn 1 from Lee Zeltwanger, and it was Zach Blinko who made the assertion in a 3 or almost 4 wide fight for third. AJ Giddy trying to fend off a battle pack behind him. This was probably the moment of the race. They interlock wheels, and unfortunately for Arthur Braun, it cost him a lot of pace, a lot of ground. Good fight back from Chris White Jr., who would ultimately finish in 5th place as well.
Yeah, exactly right. We see there a great battle between Harry Townsend and the reigning champion, Hugo Allen. They were going hammer and tong most of that race, and Hugo managed to get past Harry at the end there, but great drive from Harry Townsend and the Bayswater car to come away with 7th. Josh Bethune managed to recover to 8th, Cormac Murphy in 9th, but no one could stop Zach Blinko today in race 2 this morning here for the Bridgestone GR86 Championship.
Was that almost a stealth move from Blinko? Was it a matter of understanding how to best use those Bridgestones on Sunday morning here? We're headed for highs of around about 22 degrees here today. Going to be a beautiful day, but a cooler start to the morning. We've had a bit of cloud and fog that's lifted today, and he, having been roughly a second behind Cooper Barnes for much of that race, final lap, it all changed, and that's a crucial win. The point standings, when we have a look at at things at the end of race 2 here will be quite interesting, Ronan, because that's a good fight back by White Jr. and Allen after yesterday's dramas with the jump starts too. That's some good stuff in the bank for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But Zach Blinco's now got a podium and a race win, so he's he's going to be in the box seat right now to be potentially leading this championship going into the final race this weekend. And clearly the heaps of speed there in that Mackenzie Motorsport car. They're clearly got them tuned up and working perfectly. And great job from Cooper Barnes as well to end up on the podium there for Right Cuts by M2 Competition, and Lee Zaltwanger there in 3rd place.
About to take you down there very shortly. Can see our good buddy Andrew Waite standing by. Let's head down there now and soak up some of the celebrations.
What a race that was, and the race win. Zach Blinco, how does that feel, mate?
Yeah, stoked. Obviously, first win in the series. Yeah, couldn't have been any happier. Yeah, it was a bit of a shaky start there, a bit dicey, but yeah, managed to get some pretty clear space from behind, and then yeah, just picked my way through and got there in the end, so super stoked.
Congratulations, well done getting it done on the last lap. And in 2nd place in the race, Cooper Barnes. Cooper had it all the way till the end. What happened?
Yeah, I didn't think he was actually that close, to be honest. I thought he went out wide, and I thought he bombed me too, but like, happy to finish 2nd, I guess. Thanks to the whole team at Right Cards by M2 Competition. The car was way faster today, so thanks for that.
Great job, well done. And in 3rd place, first podium for the championship, Lee Zaltwanger. Lee, good job. Just held a pretty steady 3rd place there. How's that feel?
Yeah, it feels great. You know, being new to the class, still getting to grips with the car a bit, but yeah, race by race, I'm getting a bit better. So yeah, positive steps forward, and that's all I can ask for.
Great job, well done. So we'll move on to the podium. These awards will be presented by Amanda Tolomash, Toyota GR Category Manager. In 3rd place in the race, Lee Zaltwanger. Second place overall in the race, Cooper Barnes. And in 1st place, with the last lap, dive bomb into turn 1, Zach Blinco. And there you have it, everyone. There is your podium for the Toyota GR86 race number 2.
Our thanks there to Andrew Waite. We're getting set for the next of the races. We're going to go back to back today, 7 different categories. We're going to go from the awesome 4-cylinders to some big V8s. The field of TA2 cars in this country has swelled, has grown in the last 6 to 12 months, just as it is across the ditch in Australia between TA2 and Trans Am. They've got a really solid couple of series over there. Now we have something to be immensely proud of in New Zealand. All sorts of your favourite muscle cars represented here, from the Dodge Challenger to the Ford Mustang.